Hello everybody, Brad Johnson here, and welcome to another episode of the Expansion Point. As you can see, I am in new surroundings. I'm no longer in my trailer anymore on Vancouver Island. I have moved to Vancouver, BC, and I'm here in this beautiful suite, ready to do my first expansion point in this new location. So I'm very, very excited. We have a really great topic that we're going to cover today. I'm going to be bringing in Adronis. For those of you who may have tapped into, I would say tapped in, have viewed the previous episode on channeling, I introduced Adronis to the expansion point audience at that time. I just want to say hello to everybody on the chat. Hello to everybody who is watching this live or watching this on recording. It's great to have you here energetically. So I am going to take a moment to calibrate myself to connect to the channeling state, and Adronis is going to come through. I'm going to be going into a kind of a deeper state with Adronis, kind of going into what is termed as deep theta. Once I go into deep theta, then Adronis is going to come through. He'll give a brief introduction to himself. And the topic we're going to be discussing today is fourth density. So looking into the idea of the shift, looking into this trans-dimensional transition that we're moving into right now. And Adronis is going to give some insight as it relates to the fourth density itself. What is it like? What is the fourth density? How does the fourth density impact our lives? What are we going to be experiencing in that particular way as well? So, an exciting episode today. Thank you again, everybody, for joining me. I will go ahead now and take a moment and connect with Adronis, and we'll get started. Here we go. First, get a glass of water. One of the most important things as a channel, make sure you have your water handy. You'll need it. Okay, here we go. Soul Star Adronis. We are here at this time, and we bid you greetings, and thank you for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast through your internet collective consciousness. We would ask all of you at this time to simply allow yourselves to get relaxed, get comfortable, and tune in to the vibrations of Sirius, so that you may synchronize, harmonize, and align to all of the information that we have to share. Understand that all that we shall provide for you this moment of your time is simply that of our perspective, our point of view. For all knowledge, all information, all creation itself resides within your very hearts, beings, and souls. The fourth density. Everything that you are experiencing at this moment is all part of the transitional phase of you moving from one dimension to another. We have likened this to the rainbow bridge analogy, as if you were to have two Earths in the palm of our hands right here. One on the left, your current Earth, existing within a higher third density threshold, and of course the other Earth, the fourth density Earth, in a fourth density threshold. And between these two worlds is a rainbow bridge that connects both worlds together. The idea about what is happening within your star system right now is that it is going through a metamorphosis. It is transforming. It is not the idea of global warming that is, in that sense, causing your planet to shift. That is what you would know as man-made invention. There certainly are pollution effects. There certainly are, shall we say, contaminations that have happened upon your planet that certainly do not assist. But again, that's not the reason why you're going through this intense shift relating to your planet right now, moving from one dimension to another. Your planet is heating up from the inside. That's what's taking place. As your star was previously what you would know as a yellow star, and is now a white star, it has already accomplished its own transition as a fourth density star. What you are looking at up in your sky when you're looking at the sun is a fourth density star. What is happening with all of your Earth changes in that sense is the cosmic rays that are coming through your sun. In fact, much of the galactic dust that's coming into your star system are all part and parcel of this initial cosmic transmutational change that's taking place right now. Every single planet in your star system is being affected by this. It's not just Earth. So Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, yes, they're all experiencing a transitional effect from third density to fourth density. Going back into the idea of the Rainbow Bridge analogy, is that each of you are at the Rainbow Bridge. Some of you may decide not to go upon this Rainbow Bridge because you're feeling that you're going through so much intensity emotionally, that you're having so many mental barriers, that you're having so many physical problems, that the ego is highly inflated and you feel like it's controlling you, and you can't bear to even try to step upon that bridge. And so those particular people remain exactly where they are based upon what they have created. Then there are those who are walking upon the Rainbow Bridge, who are fascinated by this, who are quite excited, and asking questions and probing their reality as well too. Sometimes they may walk up a little bit, sometimes they may go back down a little bit, sometimes they'll walk back up a little bit. Some of them may even just be standing still on the form of the bridge as well. Then of course you have the improvers. You have the doers, you have the people who are improving themselves, working together with themselves, and they are climbing up this Rainbow Bridge. They are moving further and further closer to the other side. They're not quite there yet, but they're getting there, because they're working upon themselves. They're working with their emotions, they're working with their belief systems, they're working with their inner selves. And as they do the inner work, they start to see how they become a creator truly. They become a true creator because they understand that thoughts shape reality, that your feelings create manifestation. And so when you get into that particular point, you're not concerned about the melodramas of the world. You understand that you are your entire world, and that everybody else is a version of yourself, a slice of yourself. And you are connecting to these other versions of yourself to helping yourself get an understanding about who you're not. Not about who you are, but who you're not. So when you understand who you're not, you're getting much more of a sharper clarity of understanding more and more of who you are. This is again, as we have stated, in order for you to understand who you are, you must firstly understand who you're not. So that is the key. And that is what the self-improvers, the doers, are doing in that way. And they are continuing to climbing up this Rainbow Bridge, and they are starting to move to the other side of fourth density for harvest. Then, of course, you have those who have already passed through the Rainbow Bridge, who are right at the edge. And it's like a screen door has just closed behind them, and they're just turning around and observing the third density as it moves through this transition into the fourth. So there are those in that sense that are already at the screen door. The screen door has closed, which means they're already locked in. They are already harvested, as it were. What the harvest means is the idea that you are reaping yourself to the idea of one density to another, which means that you are, shall we say, grown, reaped, purified, ripe. for the aspect of fourth density and moving into the fourth in that particular way. And so basically you could say that the people who are at the top of the mountain, the summit folk in that sense, are already in a fourth density level. So again, they are locked in. And what they are doing is mainly just viewing the world, because they are pure I am consciousness. They are not concerned about the affairs of the world. They are not concerned about modern society. They have simply become the example of who they know themselves to be. Their true identity is the universe itself. And so they are not struggling. They are not in a particular form of drama relating to life affairs. They are here at the top of the mountain. Now, many of them are being called to actually go into the cities, to go into the towns, and start educating people. Many of them will actually just go into the astral realm and function as dream guides. They will manifest astral bodies, and they will start working together with others in the dream plane as a mirror reflection to helping others evolve themselves, helping to come to terms with the idea of emotions that they still hold on to. So the summit folk, the people at the top of the mountain, the beers in that sense, they are the ones that are again locked in. They have the screen door. They're already contained within a fourth density nexus, which means their consciousness is already in fourth density, and they're allowing their body to continue to go through a transmutation process that will take them up into fourth density. Here's the thing. There are particular people upon your planet now that are already fully immersed into fourth density. It is not a very large list. We would basically say it is much less than 1% of your population. That already less than 1% of your population already exists on the fourth density Earth. There are more to come. But this is basically what you would know as the summit folk. Those who have already gone through transitional process, those who have already moved themselves into fourth density. You can basically understand this of people who in that sense, who you may have once knew, but are no longer really available, no longer really heard from again. They don't really seem to be around anymore. Some may just think that they have died and that they have gone back up into source consciousness. No, it's not that they have died. It's that they have completely retreated themselves and have immersed themselves into the fourth density Earth. The fourth density Earth has now opened her gates. Her gates have been open since 2016. And so now that her gates are open, there are again a very, 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 very small percentage that are moving up into fourth density, that are already in fourth density Earth. It basically feels like a dream Earth. It feels like an Earth very similar to this one, that the, shall we say, continuity of how everything with the landscape, the cities, etc. is all there. But it is much more of a quote-unquote fresher Earth. It is much more of a malleable Earth. It is much more susceptible to the idea of your thoughts and your feelings. It is not so dense. It is much more lighter. Think in the idea of the reality that you have right now and merge it together with the dream plane and put those two together. That is fourth density Earth. It is a world where you are able to have much more malleability with your actions, your impressions, your expressions, your experiences, your encounters, your intentions. All of that comes to life a lot quicker. Simply because those that are aligning into fourth density are in a heart space. That's what's required to move into fourth density, is to start living from the heart, not living from the ego anymore. If you live in the ego, you stay to where you are. Basically what that means is not feeling that your own emotions dominate you, that physical matter dominates you, that your own finances and money dominate you, that the feeling of other people dominates you, etc. Nothing dominates you. You are the creator. Everything that you experience comes from your own creational hands, as it were. You're the one that's making all of this happen. When you basically see yourself as a small person who can't do much, you're commanding the energies of the infinite to put you within this cell, to put you within these thick walls that are so thick you could not physically break past them. You have to see yourself as a creator. You have to see yourself as a heart-based being. That is the requirement. That is the particular form of necessity to moving into fourth density. You could say that is the prerequisites to fourth density, is to have an open heart, is to be compassionate, is to be loving, is to work together, is to start working together with this compassion to helping yourself evolve, to helping others evolve. Or if you feel that you really can't help others, just do no harm. That's the idea. But again, many of you are naturally built to want to assist others, to take care of others, to want to work together with others. And that, of course, is very, very commendable through the aspect of compassion. But the love that you show with others, ensure that you're bringing it into yourself. Inner work time. That is what's required from moving into one density to another. If you're not doing your inner work, if the outside world is all that you think of, if you're panicking about all of these things, if you're in highly emotional states, you will not move into fourth density. Simple as that. There is a prerequisite vibration that is required for those to move from one density into another. You have to understand that if you compare this to your chakra centers, the first three densities represent the first three chakra centers, your root, your navel, and your solar plexus. So looking into the idea of foundation, looking into the idea of connections, looking into the idea of self. Once you graduate from those higher three aspects of densities, you move into the fourth density, the aspect of heart, the aspect of compassion. That's where you're moving into. So again, it is a hybridization between the third density and the fourth density. That's what you're moving into, as it were. It is certainly a fourth density nexus, but in the best way that we can compare it is that you're taking much of your understandings from what you understand as the third density, as it relates to self or as it relates to this landscape, as you realize what life is, and you're merging it together into a fourth density dream plane. That again is a variation, even though you're moving fully into fourth density. So right now, the gates are unlocked for fourth density Earth. So again, it is those who are able to surrender to themselves. It is those who are able to listen to their guidance. It is those in that sense who are able to completely follow their flow that are getting what you would consider to be an early bird access to fourth density. Now again, we will mainly say, and again, this is not based upon any particular form of discrimination in that way, that those that have already gone into fourth density are not really a part of your modern societies in any way. You will not find them within your cities, you will not find them within your towns, you will not find them within your major metropolises. No, they are much more indigenous than anything else. Those who have basically spent many years completely dissolving the ego, integrating the ego into themselves, and becoming pure consciousness, are moving into fourth density early. Now, as we've stated, there are many of you who will still have the ability to move into fourth density. It's not to say that when you move into fourth density, your problems are over. No. You're not going to basically be devoid of challenges. You're not going to be devoid of all of these particular forms of situations that you still need to look at. That's still going to happen. When you're moving into fourth density, your challenge will be, how can I love deeper? How can I go deeper into compassion? How can I go deeper into appreciation? How can I go deeper to assisting others as I see them as myself? So there is still some particular type of individuality that exists in fourth density. But what is also important to know is that you are connecting as a group mind, which means that you are partially symbiotic. Just like how the animals are symbiotic together with nature, you too will be symbiotic in a certain way. You will still have a personality, you will still have a name, you will still have a physical body, but again, it will be a much lighter body. It is a hybrid body, you could state, that is much more a connection between flesh and light. The aspects of, shall we say, crystalline energies are existing within you and are activating within you now, and this is helping your transition. So everybody upon the planet right now is going through a fourth density transition. Some who are not ready to move into the fourth density will basically feel like they're going into psychotic shock. They will feel completely over-emotional. And this is actually what happens to many people on your internet, is that they will feel that they have this anonymous sense, and they will take out their frustrations on people because they feel an anonymous state in that form of security. But many of them do this simply because they are panicking. They are very, very fearful of times ahead. They don't know what to do. They're very highly confused, and so they need to take it out on somebody. This is where, again, those that are moving into the fourth density breach would be highly recommended in that way to give compassion to those people. Rather than saying, oh, this guy's crazy, I want nothing to do with him, to heck with him, and I'm leaving him behind. That becomes an arrogance. That becomes an ignorance. It's very, very important that even when you meet people who want to completely belittle you, ridicule you, feel like they are treating you in the foulest ways possible, that you are still able to offer them even just a slice of compassion. That is a true fourth density being, because you're living in the heart space. Many of you wonder, why do I attract all these crazy people in my life? Why do I attract people who are so menacing, who feel like they just want to completely belittle me and judge everything that I do? Because you're still feeling that with yourself. That's why that's happening. You will not attract someone who you're not the vibration of. The only way you attract a person who is constantly belittling you, who is feeling like they are quote-unquote trolling you in that way, is because you are still seeing something within yourself that's telling you out loud, this is still how I see myself in some sort of way. I still see myself as a victim. I still feel myself that I may have jealousy. I still feel rejected. I still feel abandoned. I still feel like I have lack in this area. And that's why I'm making such a big deal if a person ridicules me. And that is basically what you're experiencing here. So the whole key here in that sense is knowing that when a person is doing that, you know it's not affecting you because you've done your inner work, you've worked with yourself, you've harmonized yourself, you've been able to go through these emotional states and bring them into compassion. So why not give just a little bit of that compassion to that person? And saying, even though you're feeling this way, you are like me, I send you love. I will let you be. There you go. So at best, do no harm. If you feel it's a little too much to even give a slice of compassion to that person, then do no harm. Let it go. And continue upon your work, continue upon yourself. But again, listen to what that mechanic is telling you, because that's all that is. That person represents a mechanic of yourself, not a drama. The drama is a mechanic. It's telling you. You have to look at the energy behind the words. You have to look at the energy behind the melodrama. And now you're actually seeing exactly, well, but this is actually pointing to me and showing me that there's still something within myself that I am not able to make peace with. That's why they're blowing up at me in this particular way. There's still something that I see within myself that could be a victim. And they're basically displaying that victimhood. So again, this is something you want to take notice of. Look into the energy behind words. Look into the energy behind actions. Look into the energy behind dramas. And that is how you understand how you're working with yourself more and more. And you're peeling off these layers of heavy emotional turbulence. And now you're replacing it with fresh, lighter, loving energies. That therefore brings you up to the Rainbow Bridge. That connects you more to fourth density. Fourth density is a world where you are much more malleable. It is a malleable domain. It is a malleable realm where the aspect of connecting with apparitions, where the aspect of communicating more with your intuition, with connecting with others on deeper psychic levels, on deeper intuitive levels, will become natural. Where nobody will have any hidden agendas at all. They can't. Because you are so tuned into that person, you're so tuned into everybody else, nobody can hide anything anymore. Do you ever wonder why so many people now are now starting to realize that they're exposing things, that they're disclosing things within themselves? All of that needs to come on out so that you're making yourself lighter and moving into a heart-based being. so that you're moving into fourth density. Not everybody will make the fourth density shift. It's important for you to know that. There again will be a certain percentage of people that will go into fourth density. And those that remain in the third density will remain upon this particular earth, still going through their struggles, their trials and tribulations, their challenges. And there are those who are moving much more into a heart-based path that are simpatico with the idea of that other dimension. And they will move into that dimension, into that density, which you know as fourth density, fifth dimension. So this is what we can give as an elevator version, you could say, relating to what is happening with your earth and what fourth density will be like in that sense. A malleable, lighter reality where your thoughts are more vivid, where your connections with everybody are much more singular, where there is no secrets. There are no hidden agendas. That again is just an aspect, an understanding about where you are going. You will be able to connect with spirit much more malleably. You will be able to connect with apparition. You will be able to connect with other beings in other dimensions that are sharing the same plane as you. Again, it's a big discussion, but we will leave it at this particular time. We thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction. We will now conclude and return to the conduit. Goodbye for now. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody. I hope all of that information was very helpful for a lot of you. If not, there's a lot more information on fourth density that you can find on my YouTube channel. If you just go to youtube.com/user/self-empowerment-tv, you can find that there. Or you can just go onto YouTube, type in Brad Johnson Adronis, and you'll find a whole bunch of videos there as well, too. Or you could type in Adronis fourth density in the search bar, and you can find some other videos where Adronis talks a lot, again, with more information and detail on the fourth density. But this is kind of looking at an elevator version, you could say a nutshell version of where we're going, what fourth density is like, and what's required, what's the prerequisite to get ourselves into that next density. So again, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this broadcast today. We have about maybe 2 minutes left, so I'm just going to scroll down the feed here, the chat feed. All right, much love to you guys. Thank you very much. It's the audience that I speak to. I know on the Akashic Academy is always very, very knowledgeable with spirituality. So this is why I feel I get a lot of comments and just a lot of great feedback. So again, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you very much. Shine a light on the dim ones, I guess you could say. Yeah, that's true. And that's the whole idea, right, is we're making sure that we're bringing in a lot of compassion. We're making sure that we're becoming love workers, compassion workers in that way. A lot of people will say light workers, and that's true. But the whole idea is before you can come into light, you have to deal with your shadows. You're a shadow worker at first. As you work with your shadows, then you're going to be able to start transforming into your light. And that goes into Adronis' philosophy, where in order for you to understand who you are, you must first look at who you're not. Right? You have to look at your shadows first. You do not look at the light first. You look at your shadows. You look at in regards to what everything is saying to you in reality. And then you're utilizing your own sense of compassion that exists within your heart to distinguish, to determine, to discern what is true to you. Who are you? By firstly understanding who you are not. So again, become a shadow worker first and then move into light. Become a shadow worker first and then move into love. All right, that's how it works. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of The Expansion Point. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to be looking back at this video as well, too, because I don't always remember about what Adronis shares. So again, I'll be back next week with another exciting episode here on the Akashic Academy. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Much love to you all, and I'll speak to you again in another perspective of the now. Take care.